New York Times. Can Botox and cosmetic surgery chill our relationships with others? Anything that disrupts one's ability to emote is a cause for concern, particularly in an age when Botox and other cosmetic procedures that paralyze, stretch, plump, or otherwise alter the face are commonplace. Permanently pouty lips and smooth brows might be good for selfies, but research suggests they flatten your effect, disconnecting you from your feelings and the feelings of others. The use of Botox injections is up more than 800% since 2000, and the use of soft tissue fillers is up 300%. Plus, there's been an advent of so-called mini facelifts, whereby people can take more incremental approach to cosmetic surgery, getting their eyes, foreheads, chins, and cheeks done a la carte. The latest annual member survey by the American Academy of Facial Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery points to a growing number of trend called prejuvenation, in which people have cosmetic work done in their 20s and 30s to get out ahead of aging by immobilizing, filling, or surgically lifting their faces before wrinkles or sagging can even start. It's worrying because every time you interact with another person, romantic partners, family, friends, colleagues, clients, babies, and strollers, the two of you subconsciously and subtly react and reflect each other with facial expressions. By mirroring the other person's expressions, you are not only signal you are engaged and participating, but you're also kind of a feedback loop that helps you empathize. If you hinder the ability to do that even slightly, you're changing the social dynamic between you and the other person. Researchers have found that when the ability to make facial expressions have been hindered, either by mechanical means, wearing a hockey mouth guard, or biting down on a chopstick, chewing gum, or by temporary paralysis, Botox injections, that's horrifying, individuals are less able to interpret other people's facial expressions and experience related emotions. In fMRI scans, people who have had Botox injections have less activation in the areas of the brain used to interpret and modulate emotional states. Other studies have shown a decrease in the intensity of emotional experience following Botox injections, which is why some have suggested is a treatment for depression. The trouble is, you might end up losing the ability to feel very happy, just as you might lose the ability to feel very sad.
I think the research also highlights the importance of what people call micro expressions.
Yes.
And things that we don't really consciously recognize.
And you can't get there. You can't form these micro expressions if you can't express.
And then you made another interesting point. So you said that people are getting cosmetic work done in their 20s and 30s. Mm-hmm. Well, I feel like that generation already has so many issues communicating. Because with phones and email and everything's getting away, and now we're losing those little expressions.
Well, the micro expressions don't matter because you're only expressing yourself through your phone anyways.
Well, true, but then once you actually do see someone in person and their face is not
never will.
Move.
You don't have to anymore.
It's really worrisome though.
It is, absolutely, 100%.
For people's mental health.
And people...
We're just losing our ability to connect with people. Humans are social animals.
Yep. But no one wants to socialize anymore. You have social anxieties, all these.
Yeah. And having a plastic face is not going to help.
Nope. And again, it might look good on the Instagram selfie, but again, Forbes. A sense of oneness may be a key to happiness. Oneness, beliefs, and their effect on life satisfaction, published in the Journal of Psychology of Religion and Spirituality. In the first two studies, Integer Shans had participants answer a number of questions as part of a psychometric scale she developed to measure feelings of oneness. Questions included, I believe that everything in the world is based on a common principle, and everything in the world is interdependent and influenced by each other. Other questions measured oneness in the less direct way, having to do with social connectedness to nature, empathy to others, and life satisfaction. It turned out that her scale was a valid instrument to measure a person's sense of oneness, and importantly, people's answers were similar 6 weeks later, suggesting that the sense of oneness is a stable part of one's makeup rather than a fleeting state. Next, she polled 67,000 people about their feelings of oneness, their religiosity, and life satisfaction. People were reporting more oneness generally felt more satisfied with life, and this was true across different religions: Protestant, Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism. About a quarter of respondents say they were atheists. Muslims had the highest sense of oneness, while atheists had the lowest. Overall, oneness scores correlated better with life satisfaction than did religion. Very hippie oneness.
Although I thought it was kind of interesting that atheists scored the lowest.
I know, that's the funny one. That was kind of, what?
Because, I mean, a lot of people argue that they're atheists because they care about the planet more or something, that they're more focused on the secular life. I don't know. It was very interesting, though. But
yeah, that one kind of, the atheist part was a little surprising.
But it just goes back to the fact that we need to, have respect for one another, care for each other.
Yep. Love each other.
love and light. Think about the consequences our actions have. Think about how other people feel.
Yep. Very important. It's hard to do that when everyone has plastic surgery and is on Instagram.
Love and light, though, guys. Love and light. Peace.
New York Times, employee wellness programs yield little benefit. Study shows. I have experience with this. Effective workplace wellness program on employee health and economic outcomes. A randomized clinical trial published on Tuesday in JAMA looked at the experience of 33,000 workers at BJ's Wholesale Club over a year and a half. While workers who enrolled in the wellness program reported that they learned to exercise more and watch their weight, the research found no significant differences in outcomes like low blood sugar or sugar levels and other health measures, and it found no significant reduction in workers' health care costs. Of course not. 82% of companies with more than 200 workers offer some sort of wellness program like quitting smoking or weight management, according to the latest survey by the Kaiser Family Foundation. Companies often encourage participation in these programs by dangling some sort of financial carrot, ranging from a gift card if you track your steps to a significant discount off of what you pay towards your health insurance. Some programs have prompted concerns over employees' privacy and the use of the health data by third parties like vendors selling these workplace plans. Lawsuits have been filed that force employers to retreat from offering incentives from reaching specific goals. And I used to work in the private sector. We actually did a wellness program back when I was there 6 years ago or whenever it was. Yeah, they did blood draws, physicals. Oh, yeah. And they had very inexperienced people drawing the blood.
Oh, my God.
They called this lady the butcher. She just kept poking around. People were passing out. It was bad.
What?
Yeah.
All for an ineffective
she poked somebody and it started gushing.
Oh my gosh.
It was bad. Yes,
horrible.
it's bad. These are just
God.
general phlebotomists or I don't know. But they didn't know what they were doing. They weren't good at it. They were trainees or something. I don't know what the hell they were.
That's crazy.
And these wellness programs, we have a friend that has, I think she got a Fitbit. And that's part of her wellness program. She has to wear the Fitbit, and the employer gets to track everything she does on that Fitbit.
Yeah, I've heard of several friends that have that I got to get my Fitbit.
Yeah.
But then you brought up the privacy concerns.
Yeah.
So employers are forcing their employees into these programs, which are not as effective as everyone hoped.
Or what my old employer did, because we had a lot of smokers, and it was mostly minimum wage employees. So just to set the tone, give you some context, they're manufacturing, very poor people.
Right.
And they implemented a no smoking policy. Originally, it was, we're not going to smoke. If you don't smoke, you're going to get a benefit. Then it was, you can't smoke on our property. But guess what? On your breaks, you're on our time. You can't leave the property, so you can't smoke on your breaks. You can only smoke on your lunch break. People were pissed. People were so pissed because they couldn't leave the property.
Yeah.
If they'd go stand out front of the building, off on the street, they'd get written up. Job abandonment kind of thing.
What?
You can't. Yeah, it was freaking bad.
Really weird.
Yeah, these companies really need to start thinking about the employees a little bit more. Yeah. Why are you going to punish someone who's smoking cigarettes?
Yeah, well, the UC campus did a similar thing they banned smoking on campus.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've noticed, because they got rid of all the places to dispose of cigarettes properly, but now you'll see more cigarette butts laying about because, of course, there's still people that sneak a cig.
Yeah, and I found that at work, too, where I used to work. It was,
but now there's no place to dispose of it.
Yep. Someone in the chat said, buy a vape. That's the best way to get around it. Gizmodo. The best personal trainer might be a dog. I thought it was cute. Researchers in the UK, led by Kerry Westgrath, an epidemiologist at the University of Liverpool, surveyed 385 families living in the same community of West Cheshire. This sample included almost 200 dog-owning adults, more than 450 non-dog-owning adults, and 46 children. A small group of volunteers from that sample agreed to wear a step tracker for a week. They found that more than 80% of dog owners reported doing at least 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity per week. The amount of exercise recommended by physical activity guidelines across the world. Non-owners weren't necessarily lazy, around 62%. Also reported exercising that much, but dog owners were roughly 4 times or 400% more likely to meet the criteria. Children living with dogs also reported getting more exercise, while dog owners tracked with a step counter who regularly walk their dogs took more steps than non-owners. This study's findings, published in scientific reports, are the latest to suggest that dogs can motivate us to be more active, and that's true.
Yeah. Keyword there, motivate.
Yes.
Don't get a dog if you're not ready for this sort of commitment.
I do not recommend most people get dogs. Most people do not know what they're doing when they get dogs, and they return them.
Yeah, and they do not exercise their dog enough.
No, yes. So we have the small dogs, so we're good. But if you get anything bigger than a Chihuahua, get ready.
But, I mean, dogs will keep you going out in the rain, which is kind of what the study alluded to.
Yeah, they keep you going.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people, people that I know that just, when they get dogs, man, I didn't have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning to walk my dog. Well, it's a big dog. You got to walk it. It's bored. You live in an apartment. What do you want to do? All right. In bursts, which fruit is the best for your health? Here's what 3 nutritionists said. Eating fruits regularly helps to prevent major diseases such as heart diseases, certain cancers, diabetes, and obesity. It can also improve brain health. Fruits contain a range of nutrients essential for health, from energy-producing nutrients, mostly carbohydrate to some fat and protein, through to vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Predominant sugars vary. In peaches, plums, and apricots, there is more glucose than fructose. The opposite is the case of apples and pears. Fruits vary greatly in terms of their glycemic index and the effect on our blood sugar, glucose. If we look at vitamin C, relatively high amounts are found in strawberries, citrus fruits compared to bananas, apples, peaches, or pears. Passion fruit contains more phosphorus, an essential mineral used in releasing energy, than papaya. However, the opposite occurs in the case of calcium, the most common mineral in the human body. Grapes reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Impact of processing. Fruit can be processed by canning, freezing, drying, chopping, mashing, pureeing, or juicing. Processing fruits can improve shelf life, but it can also lead to losses in nutrition due to physical damage, long storage, heating, and chilling injury. Usually minimally processed fresh-cut fruits such as fresh fruit salad have the same nutritional qualities as individual fruits. However, tinned fruit salad may contain added sugar as syrup and preservatives. Fruit juices can contain a lot of sugar, and some even contain added sugar. Fruit products, juice, dried, or tinned products that are higher in sugars and also preservatives are not as good as whole fruit in some cases, but consuming fruit in any form is better than consuming no fruit at all, according to this article. The more variety of fruits you can include in your diet, the better. There you go. PSA.
Yeah. Little clickbaity title.
Eat more fruit. Yeah, it's fine. But I took the good parts out about the fruits. Tell you what you do.
Yeah. Eat a variety.
Eat a variety. That's the whole thing about fruit. Just eat a variety. And eat the good stuff. Don't eat it out of a can. Eat it naturally.
Yeah.
ScienceDaily. Common sleep myths comprise good sleep and health. Compromise good sleep and health. Researchers from NYU School of Medicine reviewed more than 8,000 websites to identify the 20 most common assumptions about sleep. With a team of sleep medicine experts, they ranked them based on whether they could be dispelled as a myth or supported by scientific evidence and the harm that the myth could cause. The claim by some people that they can get by on 5 hours of sleep was among the top myths researchers were able to dispel based on the scientific evidence. They say this myth also poses that most serious risk to health from long-term sleep deficits. To avoid these effects and falsehoods and others identified in this study, such as the value of taking naps when you routinely have difficulty sleeping overnight, Robbins and her colleagues suggest creating a consistent sleep schedule and spending more time, at least 7 hours, asleep. I would agree with that.
Yeah, we were just talking about that last night.
Yes, someone said they can get 4 hours of sleep in our chat. We said, I don't think so. Not healthy.
Yeah.
Another common myth relates to snoring. And while Robbins says snoring can be harmless, it can also be a sign of sleep apnea, a potentially serious sleep disorder in which breathing starts and stops over the course of the night. The authors encourage patients to not dismiss the loud snoring, but rather see a doctor since this sleep behavior may lead to heart stoppages or other illnesses. The study authors also found sufficient evidence to publish studies that despite beliefs to the contrary, drinking alcoholic beverages before bed is indeed unhealthy for sleep. According to experts, alcohol reduces the body's ability to achieve deep sleep, which people need to function properly. The researchers acknowledge that some myths still cause disagreement among sleep experts. For instance, although sleeping in on weekends does disrupt the natural circadian rhythm, for people in certain professions, such as shift workers, it may be better for them to sleep in than to get few hours of sleep overall. These discrepancies suggest further research needs to be done. As we always say, further research, good research.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people believe in the alcohol myth, though. I always hear that I just have some wine before bed.
Yeah, now let's see some research on marijuana and sleep. See how that goes. I think that might be a little bit better.
Yeah. I think I was reading some article today too.
Mm-hmm.
I just glanced at the headline that not getting enough sleep even shortens your lifespan.
Yeah.
So if you want to live longer, get your sleep in. It's important.
Sleep is so important. Especially now, because people aren't even getting good sleep. They're checking their phones.
Yeah,
they're not getting good sleep.
That's something else, another special segment we need to talk about of people not getting quality sleep. The blue light is disrupting their sleep, or they sleep right next to their phones. They're addicted. They're checking it.
Our phones are on a different floor of the house that we're in. It's not even anywhere near us. Our phones are nowhere near us. We highly recommend at least sleep with it outside of the same room. Put it in your bathroom or something.
Yeah.
ScienceDaily. Critical errors in inhaler technique common in children with asthma. Researchers found that nearly half of participants demonstrated improper inhaler use, which means they routinely were not taking in the full dose of medication. Adolescents most commonly displayed critical errors in inhaler technique. They also often skipped using a spacer, which is a device that is recommended for use with an inhaler to help the right amount of asthma medication reach the lungs. Findings were published in the Journal of Hospital Medicine. Out of 113 study participants, 2 to 16 years of age, 42% missed at least one critical step in their inhaler technique. Researchers found that 18% did not use a spacer device with their inhaler, and that these patients were mostly older. Previous studies have shown that adding a spacer device to an inhaler increases the amount of asthma medication a person takes from 34% to 83%. That is quite a jump.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell a spacer is. I had asthma growing up.
Yeah.
So that technology must not have been around when I had asthma.
Well, I remember one of our doctor friends brought this issue up to us because we both have inhalers and we both were using them
we were both.
improperly.
And I've had asthma my entire life and I was using the inhaler wrong.
Yeah.
And she said, no, you're using the inhaler wrong. I said, what? I've had asthma my entire life. And she showed me how to use it properly. What were we doing wrong?
I think you were supposed to start breathing before you pressed
because I was exhaled completely and then put it up to my mouth and then breathing as I was puffing. But she said, no, you're supposed to breathe in then puff as you're breathing in.
And we don't have spacers, neither one of us.
Yeah, I don't know what is a spacer.
It just adds.
I know what it looks like. I looked it up. Just messing around.
But
never heard of it. BBC. How making bars of soap started my life again. The soap company was set up in 2015 to help encourage and support people with disabilities back into the workplace. The products they sell are all made entirely by hand by disabled workforces in Cumbria and London. Two employees, Billy and Sue, tell us their stories.
As soon as you went into an interview with a walking stick, you just didn't stand a chance. Nobody wanted to know you.
I had a fatal accident, lost my bottle altogether, had to surrender my licence and everything because I have panic attacks. And I sat and stared at the wall for 4 years.
At this small factory in Cumbria, all employees have a disability, the video says.
Also, that looks like great soap.
They hand make luxury soaps and shower gels. One of the reasons why we're watching this is because Marissa and I are both interested in soap making. We both make soap, so this operation is really cool.
Yeah.
For every product sold, an hour of employment is created.
There's at least 2 million people in the UK that have a disability or a long-term health condition, and they're of working age, they want to work, but the structures just aren't there in the UK to support people into work. And so we're a really small employer, but if we could sell a lot more, we could be a much bigger employer, and there's definitely the need there. There's the desire for people to want to work.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I think this next video is their process.
You go into your own world while you're doing things. Yeah,
I was just really fascinated by what they're doing. Following the accidents, Billy and Sue go back. Were both left unable to work.
Went from being a normal, happy-go-lucky person to somebody completely different. I say I've got through it, and I've put my spell, and I'm battling on.
When you all got something wrong with you, we all watch each other's backs. I can't do certain jobs, so the girls know I can't do them, so they'll take the weight and do what I can't do, and then I do stuff that they can't do. So yeah, we all have to help each other.
It's great here, and you get job satisfaction because you're helping other people as well. To me, it was a start of my life again. When you see somebody walk out of here who come in a nervous wreck, or seriously something wrong with them, walking out and getting a job, it's brilliant. It's a really good feeling, like.
I've got loads of new friends, and all the girls call me Mum. And normally on Mother's Day they buy me a Mother's Day present, so yeah, it's like one big little happy family.
All my friends call me Lavender now.
Super cute. I liked it.
I love it.
And that's awesome.
But this is where the support starts in your local communities, small businesses.
That's
employees are treated like humans and not just a machine.
Yep. Seems like a good company. Wonder how much their soap is. Probably pretty expensive.
It's rough, man.
No, it's small batch.
Yeah.
It looks good, though. That operation's cool. That's a sweet operation. Oh, yeah. They've got some good soap. Thank you so much for watching. For more content like this, please check out our podcast over at healthytalkshow.com/subscribe. We're live Mondays at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time over at healthytalkshow.com/live. Love and light.